So this is my Champion 4375 generator. This has been the workhorse of me putting this house up. I was using my brother's before I got this, but his was pretty heavy, so it was kind of difficult for me to load and unload in the back of the truck. With this guy, I could just snatch it on and off. Well, not so much snatch, but I can get it on and off by myself. The reason I have my face covered is because these bull gnats out here are just driving me crazy. So as soon as I take this off my face, they come and just go crazy. So what I've done here is I have some pieces of wood that I've cut up. I use those to get the generator off the ground because I want to put this guy underneath it. Just a container to catch the oil. And there was oil in here, and it's an old one, so I'm just going to cut it. And so the oil will flow into it. Hopefully, that's the idea anyway. So once I get that done, I will take my, what is it? This is a 12 millimeter for this little pin right here, or the little piece that holds the oil in. So once I cut this, we can get this party started. Now I'm doing this video because there's only like one or two I've seen on changing the oil on these generators. And of course, I always forget to put my gloves on and end up making a mess, getting my hands all filthy. But that's the way it works. So let's get my gloves on and make this look a little bit more sort of official, or almost like I know what I'm doing. So I won't get too much oil on my hands, although I need a little oil. I don't put oil and things on out here because everything I put on attracts the bugs, so I try not to put on anything. So there we have it. So that can sit here, and now I can slide this guy right in here, and my oil should fall right in there. So what I'll do now, just go ahead and untighten this. And I'll let the oil come out. And like I say, this is much needed because I've not done this since I had this generator. I bought it used. The oil was pretty decent because I think they changed it pretty regularly. But as you can see, it's a little dark there now. So I'll let that drain out. And it's running down the side there. So I'll let all that drain out. And I have some oil here, have a funnel to get back in, and it goes right in here. Oops, starting to leak a little bit, not where I wanted it to go. But if I got no oil on the ground, then it would look too much like perfection. So I don't know that we want to have too much like perfection. But at the same time, there we go. I think that might work. I wanted to turn it the other way, but no big deal. I'll just cover over some of that. So I'm going to let that drain out. Here's the hole where I actually checked the oil. I'll wipe that off because once I put the new oil in, I have to make sure that there's enough. I'm not sure how many hours you're supposed to change your oil, but like I said, this oil is pretty old, or pretty used, because I've been working this thing a lot. So I'm just going to wait until this stuff drains out, and I'll put in the new stuff. So it's going to be a minute. So I'll just let it do what it does. But the oil doesn't look too terrible, but it is time to change it, especially since I haven't changed it. So that's what we have. And this is a process that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, but as with a lot of things, I just haven't made time for it. But I've always made time to use the generator, and using it without changing it. I want to keep this thing running because this generator is pretty much a first pull start, and it runs really great. I haven't had any issue with it since I bought it, so I want to keep it that way. So I think in order to do that, I'll need to stay on top of the oil change and the maintenance. So we'll just hang out until this gets done. It's almost there, but I just want to make sure. And I'm not going to move this too much because it may fall off of these pieces of tree that I've cut, these little limbs. But since it's just about there, I'm not going to sweat it too much. I'm just going to let it come out on its own, and we'll be good from there. And I can finally put that on my done list because there are a lot of things, little things like this that I need to do, but this is the thing I need to do most because this is one of the things that help me the most out here is when I'm using my power tools, I will use this guy. So just bear with us. I'm going to let the camera keep running. And we're just about there. So there's a little lip here that actually catches some of the oil. Of course, the thing to do, as far as I'm concerned, is to actually have moved that hole over just a little bit so it'll just fall straight out, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, there's a little lizard running around here stirring up the leaves. So now that I've gotten most everything out, I'm going to go ahead and close this guy back up. I'll put that back in. Make sure it's tight. But not too tight. So that's good. Now I can take this guy out. Clean a little more of the oil off. I think maybe next time I'm going to drill a couple of holes in here so that the oil will just run straight down without running down the rail and getting a little bit on the ground. I think that would be a good thing to do. So now, have my funnel. Make sure there isn't much dirt on it, or any dirt at all if possible. And I'm going to put in the oil. Now, from what I've seen online and read from the company, it's supposed to be 19 point ounces. So I'm just going to go almost to 20, and we're going to call it a day. With some bright new oil. Now the oil that I'm putting in right now is 530, some Pennzoil. Places I've seen and read that said the oil doesn't matter. I don't know, but I saw that this was one of the the weights that they recommended. Oops, I think I put in a little bit too much, but let's see. I'm going to close it back up. Take this out. And hopefully there's no spillage or anything. I'll put this back just in case there's too much. So there isn't any spillage thus far. I'll clean this off. And I'm holding this funnel here just so that the oil that's still in there would just drip on out. So now I'm going to put this piece back in and actually check it to make sure that we are where we're supposed to be. And we are full except one little bar or one little diamond on here. So I'm going to put just a few more ounces in because I want to make sure that we are completely full. So let's go here. I think that's probably going to be about enough. Don't want to overfill it, but I want to make sure that all our little diamonds on this are covered and it's all good. So today is Saturday. It's the first week I've been back, and I've worked all week. So today is a little bit lighter day. I'm trying to do some smaller things that I need to do, but not really work too much, because you may have seen a video where I was cutting down a bunch of trees, and then I loaded those loaded wood on the back of the tree for my brother. He wanted some firewood, so I filled up the back of the truck with some of the limbs that I cut up and took out there. So it was a good little bit of work loading and unloading the lumber, or actually the wood that he wants to burn. So I decided that today maybe I'll just take a little break so that I don't, just work myself to death out here, because once I do go back home, I have to go to work, so I don't want to kill myself here and not have enough energy to do work at home. So we're putting the oil check in here. And there we go. We are full. We are good. That's enough. It's brand new, and we are ready to go. So I'm liking that. So I will make a notation on my calendar of changing the oil today, and I will check it periodically to see when I need to do it again. So there's probably going to be a little oil dripping out of here for a little bit, because there's always residual. So I'm going to put this someplace where it can drip, and then I'm going to take this guy off of my little lumber here, and I'm going to start it up, run it a little bit, and then I'm going to check it again. And my old oil is in there that I can reuse for something if necessary, and that's what we have. So let me see if I can take this down without doing too much damage. There we go. So I'll put that there, put this one here, and take that one there. All right, Well, almost. This is sitting on it. Okay, so there we go. So now I'll start this guy up. And see how it does. Oops. I'm going to let it run just a little bit to get the oil in, and then I'll let it settle down and check it one more time. Okay, see, that started up really nicely. I like this little generator. It does really well. Okay, so that looks good. I can see some of the oil there, so that's a good thing. Okay, that is perfection. And it's nice and clean still, so that means I got everything out. I like it. So that was the oil change for my Champion 4375, the workhorse of my build out here in the woods. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and that's all.